And here we are. It is finally time for the exams to begin. We are at the last days 2023 final advice video. Somewhat of a tradition on the channel. I'll do one right before. I may or may not do one in between the tests, and I'll do one after called the aftermath to discuss the plan going forward from that point. And it's here, man. It seems like it's like Christmas time in November or something. But anyhow, let's get to the things that I would like to discuss. Many people ask for general advice before the test, and this is your last bit of general advice. So quotes first, and they are pertinent at this time. You have power over your own mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome. When you control your thoughts, you control your destiny. Epictetus. So what is that about? Why am I starting off with these quotes? Let's get to this thing here. I didn't even want to discuss it, to be honest, because what's the point? But there's people asking me by email, and there's commenters asking or pointing it out, these rumors and confirmations of leaks, and okay, great. Anyhow, MAA's response and all of that. Again, what is within your control? What is it that you can do about those things? If somebody cheated or didn't cheat, if the test was leaked or didn't leaked, is it going to be something that you can use to benefit you? Or will you use it to give yourself a pity party and think about how it's unfair, and then you underperform because the test has a big emotional component? It is a mind game as much as an intelligence game, meaning you have to manage and control your thoughts. So these rumors and confirmations of whether there was leaks or whether MAA is going to replace the test or what their plan is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't have any matter at all. If you would like, give MAA a call. People claim they called them. Are they telling the truth? Are they not? Nobody knows. The only way you can know is if you call them or your parents call them, and you can try to sit on hold and get a response that way. The best thing you can do is do what you've been doing for the last year. Prepare. What they do and what happens and all of that, it's out of your control, and it has nothing you can do about it. The only thing that you can do in these last 24 hours is prepare. Put it out of your mind. Don't let it affect you. Okay? So day before and day of plan, you should be doing more review than new. If you're trying to learn new concepts right now, you failed in your preparation effectively. I mean, if you didn't hear about it until a week ago and your teacher told you, okay, great. This is your first leg of the journey. Do whatever you can to get whatever concepts you can. For those of you who are trying to get to Amy for the first time, you've had a little bit of time, you've hopefully been learning all year long. Now is not the time to gain new knowledge for you. You should be reviewing what you've already learned and making sure that you can call it to the forefront of your thoughts under the pressure of time when it's all on the line, right? That's what your goal is at this time. So you should be getting, I said last year, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I think 8 to 9. You need to factor in that as a youth, somebody who's still growing in maturity towards adulthood, you do actually need more sleep than adults need, and probably 8 hours would be better. I would not go over 9. Obviously, at 9 hours plus, you start to get kind of the other backside of that where you're not getting as effective production out of those hours of sleep. So your food intake the day of, nothing that's disruptive to your digestive system. Again, you want to control what you can control. If you have a problem with dairy, don't eat dairy the day of. Not a good day for a bowl of cereal or yogurt or cheese or anything that might have an effect on you. Eat things that you know are not going to upset your stomach. The last thing you would want is to have a disruptive digestive process when you're in the middle of taking the test and trying to focus all of your skills on the competition, okay? So eliminate those kinds of things. I do recommend bringing some familiar snack. I don't know if I would eat it during it, but maybe just before. I don't know. Bring it just in case. If you happen to have hunger pains, it's also difficult to focus when you're starving. So bring a little something, maybe a granola bar or an apple. I would be careful of sugar crash. Some people say, oh, have chocolate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. And then your sugar crash comes in the middle of like the last 20 minutes of the test and you can't think. I would be careful of that. I have no idea how fast it'll go through your system. You know, a granola bar is probably safe, an apple probably okay. You got some fiber in the apple, you should be good there. The small notebook, you should be doing constant review now, especially if you attended the classes this last weekend. There's currently no plans for a class on the 12th. I could alter those plans by request. If enough people were interested in a class on the 12th because you didn't know or didn't have time to take the ones I had the last 2 weeks, I would consider holding one November 12th, Sunday, and you can reach out to my email through my website to inquire about that. I would probably need at least 4 or 5 students before I would consider doing another 3-hour lecture. Okay, but you should be looking through all of that. If you don't have a small notebook, go through wherever you wrote all of the key concepts down. Review all of those that you've been learning. Think about them, the formulas you have to memorize and call to action immediately, their various connections. Now would be the time to review that. You should definitely be making disciplined actions, right? Emotional control, the leaks, all of that. What are you doing? What are you doing worrying about that? You're giving yourself an emotional reaction, a negative reaction. Is that going to help your performance? Are you going to perform better because you're sad about someone getting an unfair advantage if they have one? You know, why? Focus on you. If you focus on what you can do, it doesn't matter what they do. Do the best that you can and let the cards fall where they may. In the aftermath of the test, if you want to reach out and petition them to take various actions, do so. Right now is not the time to be concerned with it unless you're talking to them directly. And if you want to do that, I would highly advise your parents do it instead of you, and you focusing on the test, preparing for the test, reviewing your notes, doing the best that you can do. You are currently mentally preparing for the test. You need to control your anxiety, your anxiousness, your pressure, all of those kinds of things that tend to affect your performance. Look at some breathing techniques. In through the nose, out through the mouth, deep breaths, which does not mean that's not a deep breath. A deep breath is when you bring it down to your diaphragm, the very bottom of it, and then you bring it back out again. So that's what you're doing. That's going to calm you down, lower your blood pressure. Try doing that before the test, focusing on your breathing. If you want to tie it into your particular spiritual beliefs, feel free to do so. That might assist you as well. So other than that, Amy Mindset. If you don't know about this video, I think most of you that watch my channel probably know, it is about the 4th or 5th most popular video out of the 240 some odd videos. I have no idea how many I have, to be honest. It's pretty up there as far as the most watched video on my channel. Now would be the time to review it. The sound is a little grainy. I didn't know anything about sound capture at that time, but the advice, the wisdom in it is still highly pertinent to this test. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely watch it. Might also be a good time to review it, even if you have seen it, to remind yourself of the things that you should be thinking about, to prepare yourself mentally beforehand. You know what athletes do for a big game? They stay off of social media. Probably be a good thing for you to do too. As soon as you finish the videos that you need to watch, don't go on chat channels and discuss blah, blah, blah. Complete waste of time. Focus on you, focus on your review, do the best that you can do. And then whatever happens on the flip side, we'll deal with that then. So, expectations. What kind of expectations should you have? Every year there is a problem in the first 10 to 12, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, that is really bewildering. It throws you for a loop. Last year they had one in problem number 4. I don't know if it was on both tests or not, the 12 and the 10, but it had, the trickiness of it was that they had, one was your mileage, I believe it was your mileage, and one was in miles per gallon, and the other one was like distance per volume, and the other one was volume per distance. And so when you realize that it was a switch of the two, the problem just unravels, but your brain doesn't process that right away necessarily. Some people might have got lucky, they noticed that immediately, capitalized on conversion factors. You might not. There are strengths and weaknesses. You're going to hit some of your weaknesses in the first 10. If you're 2 minutes in and you have no idea what you're doing, consider skipping in the first 10. Okay? If you're on problem 15 and you're 2 to 2.5 to 3 minutes in, definitely a skip point if you're not making major progress. If it's one of those problems you sense as a time sink, it's got 7 sets of similar triangles. Which one is the magic one? Probably skip. Unless you get lucky. You might try 1 or 2 sets of them and see if they produce fruit and lead you to the answer. But if they don't think about it. Don't get negative thoughts. Oh, I had to skip number 4. Nobody cares, especially you at that moment. And if you do, if you skip and you're getting this, oh, I can't do it now, that's going to destroy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop it and forget about it. When Steph Curry shoots a three and it clangs off the rim and misses, he doesn't get down on himself. He shoots another one and another one and another one, okay? So you do the same thing. Drop it from your mind. Don't let it affect you, okay? You're gonna have to skip. You need to decide when to skip, okay? How much time should you be spending? It really depends on your objective. If you're going for a first-time AMY qual on the AMC 10, you probably need, I would say, 14 right to be in the ballpark. Okay, so 14 right with 11 skips is a 100.5. Is it going to qualify you? We don't know. It gets you in the ballpark. After that, add as many as you can and get, as close as you can to the highest score that you can get, right? And so that's what your kind of objective is there. But you're going to have to skip some stuff and then just drop it from your mind. There's no point in thinking about the skip. At the end, when you've exhausted all things that you feel highly comfortable doing, that's when you want to go back to ones that you skipped and thought might be time sinks. Maybe explore them, go around a bend or two, and you might see something that unravels the entire problem. Okay? So anticipate negative effects to mitigate how they affect you, right? So the big thing about life when we get disappointed or frustrated is our expectations. If you go in expecting everything to be amazing and wonderful, then when something doesn't go that way, you get frustrated and it affects your performance. This is why on the freeway, when someone cuts you off and people get angry, oh, I can't believe that guy cut me off. Really? Right? Really? I mean, how many times does it happen on the freeway and we're still, instead, anticipate that's going to happen. But for you, because you're not driving yet, it won't be somebody cutting you off on the freeway. It'll be number 6 and it'll be brutal. And you're not going to know what to do. If you expect it, then you just know, oh, this is the one I'm skipping. That's okay, no big deal. I'm on to the next problem. That's how you need to think about those, okay? So it doesn't matter how many there are. If the test is really hard, that means the cutoff is lower. If it's hard for you and you have a difficulty with one problem, it's probably very difficult for other people as well. They're facing the same challenge that you're facing. So just overcome it, overcome the adversity, and keep marching on. Next, score predictions. What do I think the score will be for how much you need to qualify? Honestly, it doesn't honestly matter. What you need to do is do the best that you can do. Okay? Do I think, maybe this test might be easier, might be harder? Maybe it will be. I've always thought they've gotten kind of to the point where it's almost too hard now and they might want to walk it back a little bit. I felt that way the last 3 years and I was wrong the last 3 years. So it got consistently more difficult. And so what you need to do is just perform as best as you can. I would say for the AMC 10, 14 right and 11 skip is going to put you in contention. After that, you want to get as much edge as you can by answering as many as you can under the timed conditions. Obviously 15 right and 10 skips is going to be a little bit better performance. You can add 4.5 points to that, and every skip converted to a right is a big gain. You do need to be careful about mistakes. Anatomy of a mistake video, if you haven't seen it, watch it. I'm going to try to make more of that content in the future. Just haven't had time yet. But do read the problem very carefully, right? Read it carefully, look back when you're done, and check all the things. Did I check all the boxes? Oh, it said non-negative and I forgot 0. Right, go back and check those things. When you solve for a variable, is the variable what they're asking for? Go check. Make sure you're not going to get caught up in those points because they put your answer, when you do that, it's probably there. And you don't want to get trapped in a false answer. Okay, so next thing up, guessing. Should you guess? When to guess? I don't want to win by guessing. I don't want to guess. I don't want to, oh, I had a coin flip and I qualified for AMY by a coin flip. I want me to qualify for AMY. So personally, that's just my drive. I want to do it with my ability, not my ability to guess. And yeah, you could say I eliminated 3 answers, I got it down to 2 and guessed. I've had a number of students who missed qualifying for AMY because they thought they had to guess, they guessed and got it wrong, and they missed by 1.5 points. Don't let that be you, but having said that, there's different philosophies out there. If you subscribe to a different one, you're welcome to do so. I don't usually see it pay dividends. Okay, so finally, the aftermath video will come out after the B test. That's kind of rapid fire thoughts. I wanted to get this video out as quickly as I could. I had a day of teaching today. I finished, got this ready to go, filmed it. Here we are. And if you're not excited, you should be. That's where you want to go watch AMY Mindset. Don't be nervous. You need to calm down. get under that kind of a mentality of you're preparing yourself to achieve success. Okay, go watch that. Other than that, I hope you guys are preparing well. I hope you're excited. Let's get it. All right.